Alright, so I want us to basically work on the register part, and for that, before we do any of that, right, before we start working with any APIs, I need us to be able to do something beforehand, right? So apparently it looks like with Prisma you need to generate your Prisma client in your project and then do npx prisma db push. So basically what you want to quickly do is inside your terminal you can just do your npx prisma generate, right? And then like you can maybe do this second command in case that npx prisma generate is complete. You can just do npx prisma db push, right? And you just hit enter, and that should basically allow you to create your client inside your project and also create or push all your collections into your database, basically just like how it is over here. I've already done it, so I don't want to do it again. Although after my research I realized it wouldn't cause any errors, but I don't know, I don't think I want to do it again. But this is basically what happened while I was trying to do it inside the project. And if you don't do it, you're going to be getting some weird errors whenever you try to test your APIs or your endpoints in your Next.js project. So now that we've been able to go through this, let's quickly go into the register functionality. Now what we are going to do now is go into the app folder, then inside the API, inside this API folder here, we'll create a new folder and then name that register. Okay, so inside the register we are going to create a route.ts. So we'll see route.ts. okay, then inside this route.ts we are going to write a few functions, or we are going to write a few things, a few lines of code, right? Now the first thing is we are going to import bcrypt from bcrypt.js. okay, so we're going to import bcrypt from bcrypt.js. Then the next thing is we're going to import prisma from the app.libs, the app/libs/prisma.db, right? That is because it is here, app and then libs and then the prisma.db.ts. Then right after that we import the next response, so you can see the next response from the next server, right? Then right after we come down here and then we are quickly going to export async. So you're going to export async, then this function, so you're going to export async a function, and then we want to make sure that this function is a post. Then we take the request and then we set it to the type request. So request, and then we set it to the type request, right? Then right after that we just come inside here, then we would quickly do a try catch block. So after this try catch block, in case there's any error, we can simply just log out the error in a better way. So we can, I want us to write line by line so you don't get confused. So you can see we are console logging the error like this. So register error like this, and then we pass the error out into the console. All right, then right after we would quickly return new next response, and then that is going to be what, internal server error and status 500, right? Okay, now that we know this, we are going to come here inside the try block, and then we are going to take the body. I'm going to take the body and we await it inside the JSON. So await the request.json. okay, then right after setting this up, we are going to come down here and then take the various fields that we want to collect from the body. So for that we just say const, then we take the email, password and name. So email, password, name, and then we are going to take it from where? The body. Okay, so understanding this, we are going to write a few conditions. So we are going to check if there is no email, right? If there is no email or password, or there is no password, or there is no name, then you can say something like return. So let's return new next response, new next response. Then inside we'll just say, either we say missing fields, or some fields are missing, or just missing fields, or if you like you can say missing info, or if you like we can say all fields are required, all fields are required, or I don't know, maybe you might want to be adding referral codes and stuff, so maybe you don't want to say off, so you can just say missing info or missing fields like we did before. Okay, so missing fields. Okay, then right after that we want to come and also pass the status 400. Okay, nice. Then now that we've been able to set this check up, we'll come down here and then say const hashed password. Okay, so you are going to hash our password, and then how we are going to do that is we are going to say await bcrypt dot hash, and we basically pass the password inside /10, passwords inside /10. Some people like to put in 12, right? So so password 10. I don't know, I mean most people use 10, like that's what I'm used to, right? Some people use 12, some people use 15. I mean, it just depends on how long you want your login page to keep loading until it actually verifies someone's identity for allowing the person into your application, right? So let's just keep the normal 10. Just say so we'll say const user is going to be what? Await Prisma dot what? User dot create. Okay, then we open up this object, and then we say data is going to have to be what? Email, name, and then we say that what? Check for the password, we want to assign what? The hashed password that we just hash at the top here, right? Then right after doing this, what we are going to do is we're going to simply return the next.json. So next response.json, and we pass the user in there. Now as you can see inside the project over here, we are passing in new, and then over here we are passing in new, and you realize that all the times that we pass new, all these times they were errors, right? That is why we were passing new, right? So yeah, knowing this idea or understanding this about the project, the reason why this is happening, or the reason why we are doing stuff like this, is because for this one we're already doing next response.json. It's like we're already setting up the JSON and we are using it with it, right? But for this one, since we are not using it with any JSON, we just apply the new keyword to it. All right, so that's basically it. Then right after doing this, the next thing we want to do is we want to go into the auth form. So let's quickly collapse this, then we'll go into the auth form. So I think that will be site, then component, and an auth form here. Then over here, what we are going to do is we are going to quickly come down here. Okay, so we'll come down here, and then we write our register functionality, or the code that will handle the register, right? So in order for us to be able to do that, let me quickly close this. Let me clear the terminal and then install Axios, because we don't have Axios installed in our project. So we say npm I Axios legacy. Okay, I have to legacy peer deps. Okay, and yes, I think there's one more. We are going to have to be handling toast notifications. So like when there's an error or there's a success message, we need to be able to show it inside the project nicely. So we are going to have to add react hot toast. Okay, react hot toast. Nice. So this is going to quickly install. So while it's getting installed, what we can do is we can quickly come here, and then we can import Axios. From Axios. Then we'll scroll down. So over here, what we can do is we just take out this register. Then we'll start by saying Axios. So Axios.post, right? Because it's a push request. Then we say what /API /register. Okay. Then what we do next? We just pass the data that we took from the form. We just pass that data inside, right? Then once we pass that data through. When we pass the data inside, right, and we get the response, right, we're going to get a response. Now after getting the response, so yeah, we get the response. Then after getting the response, we want to do something with it. Okay, so you can either log out the response, or we can send a react toast message. So we can just say like a toast.success, and it will be like account created successfully, right? So toast.success, account created successfully, right? So account created successfully. We can do it like this, right? But as you can see here, we are getting some errors inside this, so we have to first of all import it, right? But you importing it doesn't mean that you can use it straightforward. You're going to have to do some setup inside the project. So what we are going to do is, inside this app folder that we have here, we can just create a context. We can simply create a context. Then inside the context, we are going to create a new file, and then we'll name that context toaster context, right? So inside here, let's do it toaster context.tsx. okay, then inside this toaster context, what we are going to do is use client should first be declared. Then right after, we'll come down and then import toaster from react hot toast. Then we'll come down here and then come and write our function, right? So come and write our function, that is const toaster context. Then we come down here and then return what? This toaster. So yeah, we return the toaster. Then we'll come and close it here. Then let's make sure we do our export default toaster context. Okay, so this is basically what we need. Then where we'll go next is we'll go into the layout of tsx, and then over here we are just going to pass the toaster context above this, and then we'll quickly import quickly import it at the top here. Okay, nice. Now that we've been able to work this out, let's quickly go back into the auth form here, and then as you can see, this is auth.success. We've already handled this. Then what else do we want to handle? We want to catch all errors, right? So when we basically get an error, what do we do to the error, right? That will be our next worry. So what we can do is we can just say toast. So we can just say toast dot what error, and then that is going to be what we can basically pass in the error dot response. So error dot response dot data or something went wrong. Nice and simple, right? So when we are done with this, we want to make sure that after every request has been completed or has ended, we want to make sure that we are basically saying, okay, yeah, sorry, pick up something, yeah. So we want to make sure that after everything or all the requests have been completed, we want to say what set is loading to be false. Okay, so that's basically it for setting up. Yeah, and just to some of you might have missed it, it's actually imported here. So imported here, Axios has been imported, and yeah, so we can quickly test out register route. Sorry, so we can quickly test it out. So what we can do is over here inside here, right, we can just come and then say, oh, test user, then yeah, and yes, I want us to check inside our database, make sure that we have no users. So you can see that we have no users here, right? Nice. Then after, what we can do is, so we say what, so test user, and then we say test user at gmail.com, and then we say test. Okay, let's first of all leave the password field empty and then click register. Now you realize we are getting the missing fields error. Nicely done. Then when we just pass in the password, it should basically send us the toast message that says that what we have created our account successfully. So yeah, it did show, but I guess this one covered it up. But yeah, when we go here and then we refresh, you can see that we have the test user here, the test user name, the test user's email, and then the hashed password that we passed through. You can see the created at and then the updated at. So that is basically it for setting up a basic register authentication functionality in our project. And so when we meet in the next one, we'll move on to working on the login, especially with the social authentication and the normal credential login. So hopefully I'll see you in the next one.